All right, well, hello. What I want to do is I want to explain to you an extra credit opportunity during stoichiometry. And what it is that you can, and again, this is extra credit, it's not a requirement, but what you can do is you can build a jet boat, a jet boat. I was going to say, I don't know how I was going to say that, but a jet boat using a pop bottle. And the only thing that you can use in order to make your jet boat go is vinegar and baking soda. Okay, so you can't use anything else. There's no motors, nothing like that. All right. And what I want you to do is you're going to take the pop bottle and you can place a hole in the pop bottle. And then what you need to do is you need to figure out a way to put vinegar and baking soda inside the pop bottle. All right. And then what I use at school is I use a rain gutter, just a plastic rain gutter, and you place the pop bottle inside of it, inside the rain gutter, and try and get the pop bottle to travel down the rain gutter. Now, in my normal years when everybody's at school, the goal is that your pop bottle, your jet boat, has to start at the one end of the rain gutter, has to travel down to the other end, 6 feet. Right, and then what it has to do is it has to stop within the last 2 feet of the rain gutter. It's 8 feet at the end of the rain gutter, or the full length. And what your boat has to do is travel down there, and then it has to stop before it gets to the end of the rain gutter. If your jet boat were to travel all the way down the rain gutter, get all the way to the end of the rain gutter, and then go and run into the end wall, and it still got pressure on it trying to get out of the rain gutter, then it would be no points, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to make your jet boat have enough pressure to travel down the rain gutter, but then not too much pressure, but just enough to get to the other end of the rain gutter and stop. Okay, but it can't travel all the way to the end and still have pressure and hit the end of the rain gutter. All right. Now, why in the world are we doing this activity? Well, there's two reasons, really. Number one is it's all stoichiometry. It's all about stoichiometry in order to come up with making it so that jet boat will travel all the way to the end of the rain gutter without hitting the end, but stop before it gets there. The second piece to it is, for real life, it's actually an airbag like you would have inside your car. Because inside that airbag, what you actually have is there are two chemicals in there. And those two chemicals, what they have to do is they have to do a stoichiometric calculation to make sure that they have just enough of each chemical in there to produce just enough gas that when somebody runs into something, that gas is released, it fills up the airbag and fills it up so that the person will fall into the airbag during the collision. Okay? Now, the two scenarios on this and that relate to the jet boat activity is if those chemicals produce too much gas, then what's the airbag going to do? Well, it's probably going to blow up. Now, it's going to get too much gas inside of it and blow up in the person's face, and that's not going to work out well. Right? And unfortunately, there's a good chance the person could be severely injured, if not die, from that explosion of an airbag because it had too much gas inside of it. Right? So that's why in the case of that jet boat, if it goes all the way down to the far end and runs into the end, then you get 0 points, because that would be like putting too much gas into the airbag and causing it to explode. Right? Now the reverse of that is you don't put enough chemicals in it, and the airbag goes and it flows up just a little bit, but not enough to make it so that the person has this balloon or pillow to run into in case the car gets in an accident. Right? So this would be the case where that jet boat goes and travels just a little ways down the rain gutter, and that's it. So now on that I look at it and go, okay, well, you got it to move, right? But you didn't really succeed at the idea of doing the goal, and that was making it all the way down to the other end of the rain gutter, or filling up the airbag like you're supposed to. But at least it filled it up some. So in those cases, you get some points, but you don't get the maximum number of points, right? So again, for this year, what I'm doing is I'm making this an extra credit assignment so that you can try it. And I know those of you that are home, it's going to be difficult because you don't have a rain gutter necessarily. You can try this in, I don't know, a bathtub, something like that. The one thing that I will warn you, it does make a mess. Right, so you may not necessarily want to try it inside the bathtub in the house because mom may not be a whole lot happy about that. So you're gonna have to see what you can come up with to see if you can design a way to practice this at home. Right? Now, how are you gonna get your credit for this? I'll give you two options. One option would be is if you came up with a way to do this at home, you could videotape it and send the videotape on Canvas or through an email to me so that I can see it. The other option is that when we get to the end of this chapter in a couple weeks, I will set up a Friday, and you can come in on a Friday in the afternoon when there's no students here, and you could demonstrate your boat for me on those days. All right. So those would be your two options. So now I also want to point out, like I just mentioned there, this is not an overnight assignment. This is an assignment that takes days and days and days to get. As I have always said in the past when I've done this in school, in previous classes, is the best way to get this to work is by experimentation. You got to try over and over and over and over and over. Right? If you just try once, the odds are you're not gonna get the results that you want. You got to keep trying it over and over and over, changing those stoichiometric ratios, changing your boat to get it to finally work. So that's something I want you to try. If you have any questions, you can email me about it. All right, I know this is going to be complicated for those of you at home. That's why I decided to make this extra credit. It's not worth gobs of extra credit. All right, so I don't want you to feel like, man, I'm missing out on a whole bunch of extra credit. But it is going to be worth some extra credit towards your grade if you want to try it. All right, I think it's a great way to experience stoichiometry in real life. Now, if you go to the other video that goes along with this is a little example of a boat. Now, it's not the perfect example. Why am I not showing you the perfect example? Well, I want you to experiment with this. I want you to come up with it on your own. If I showed you the perfect example right off the bat, then that's what you would all design, right? So I want you to try this on your own, right? And again, the boat that I'm going to show you does not make it all the way down to the end. It just kind of goes a little ways, and that's it, right? And I intend to do that so that now you have to come up with the right stoichiometric ratios, and you have to come up with the right design for that boat. All right. So again, if you got any questions, email me. All right. Send me a message, and we'll see what we can do on helping you along on this. So have a fun time doing this. Hopefully, you get a chance to try this. See ya.